Hello, friends! Welcome back to the Hmong Women Thriving podcast. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Catherine Yang, CEO and founder of Thriving Dot. Catherine is a business owner, creative, and community connector whose work centers on creating meaningful spaces for Hmong women and entrepreneurs to thrive. Through Thriving Dot and the networking events that she has organized, Catherine empowers others to really build connections, share resources, and step into their potential. I'm really excited to have this conversation with Catherine. I just know she's going to be able to give us so much wisdom. So I hope you guys continue to tune in. We'll really dive into Catherine's journey as an entrepreneur, her vision behind Thriving Dot, and the wisdom that she's gained in creating spaces for others to grow. Yay,
Yay, thank you so much for
everyone.
having me.
Yes, so welcome, Catherine. Thank you for coming on the podcast. We'll just jump right into the podcast or to the questions that I have for you. So my first question for you, Catherine, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah. So, I always like to start off that I'm a mom of three because people don't expect that I have children, but I do. But yeah, and so I think that's part of like my nurturing character. But I also used to be an Olympic weightlifter. I was,
Wow.
it was nothing serious, but
What?
I just really enjoy the sport. And my brother, he was a coach at the time, and I was his guinea pig. So, anyways, he did make it to the nationals, but you know, um, but yeah, I guess in everything that I do, I have always loved like inspiring other people, whether that was like in back in the day when I was still like weightlifting, people would come to me just to ask me advice about meal planning, lifting, and training, even though I had like no certification. They just wanted to work with me. But
Yeah.
I guess in terms of marketing, that's what I specialize in and what I do. I've been in marketing for the last 10 years, and that is what I went to school for. But I originally went to school to become a psychologist or like a counselor. Um, but then I guess I didn't really, when I was looking at like what types of career opportunities um, I could use with like a psychology degree, I didn't really find something that I would enjoy. So then I went into marketing, and I feel like marketing is the psychology of business. It's
Mm.
like monitoring people's activities and behaviors. I feel like I'm that creepy person that monitors your behavior and then serves you all the ads that you don't want to see based on your activity.
You're the reason
So,
why I get those ads whenever I'm talking to my phone about something.
yeah.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love that. And I guess I never thought about it like that. Like that is so true. I can see the correlation of, we're marketing and kind of that psychology piece of it all. I love that you explain it that way because it clicks for me.
Yeah.
So, could you kind of tell us what inspired you to create Thriving Dot?
Yeah. So before Thriving Dot, I've been doing marketing. I was in corporate, doing marketing for tech, and then I started Thriving Dot because of my brother. He started a business in 2020. And he was just starting to see a decline in sales. And so he asked for my help to build a marketing plan and campaign for him. And I think at that time I was so shocked because I was like, oh my gosh, my older brother needs my help. Like he never asked me for help, right? And so then, yeah, of course, I wanted to help him. And so I started running some ads for him. And then he got fully booked for the next 3 months. And I think that was like so inspiring to me because I was like, oh, wow, I could actually help a small business, someone who has like a very small budget, right? A very small budget, but can get like fully booked. And I think for me, in my experience, I've always worked with companies that have had larger budgets and like, they just have the tools and resources to do these types of marketing campaigns. And so I was like, "Oh, wow. I if I could do this for my brother, like, and I can help him, then, maybe I could start my own business." And yeah, and so that's really how Thriving Diet came about.
Wow, I love that. Yes, period, though. Your brother was like, I need your help. And you're like, yes, me, I can help you. I
Yeah.
love that. That's amazing. So, I'm curious, what was your path into entrepreneurship like? And what challenges did you face when you were starting your own business? I know you mentioned you were kind of working the corporate 9 to 5. Like, how did that transition work for you?
Yeah, so I think for for me, it took me 3 months just to come up with like a name. and nothing happened in those 3 months. It was just like Googling and using AI to find a name that would
Yeah.
fit me. But I think for me, I've always been someone who's very curious
Mm,
and wants to do more. And so I think I always had like that entrepreneur like spirit, or I had that like I don't want to call it like high achieving mindset, but like I've always wanted to do more. That's all. And I think that as any entrepreneurs, you will always hit like roadblocks. I felt a lot of like imposter syndrome throughout my process or journey. Times where you will get disrespected, and times where you will have many like sleepless nights. But I think the biggest like challenge that I overcame in my business journey and entrepreneur journey is just overcoming myself, because I feel like I got in the way of myself more than anybody else did.
mm,
I, you know, I was like very scared of failure. I think that's one of the biggest thing is like fear of failure. I had a lot of doubts, and so I didn't have a lot of confidence in the beginning, but over time, that's something that I've been working to build and just build confidence in myself and trust. And yeah, I think with any entrepreneur, you just have to have resilience and overcome yourself.
that's such good advice. Oh my gosh. As someone who's starting her own small business, that's so good to hear. And it's so encouraging because I feel the same exact emotions that you felt. And even the fear of being seen. I don't know. Something about that is just like uncomfortable. I mean, obviously, like I don't know. It's just something about it. And I think a part of it too, and I don't know, this might be like very Gen Z, Gen Alpha, but like the fear of trying, like, and the fear of being seen that you're trying. I don't know. People just think that's cringe. And then obviously, like, you start to like doubt yourself and everything like that. So those are such encouraging words. And I personally appreciate that advice.
Aw, thanks.
Yes, most definitely. As a Hmong woman, how has your identity really influenced the way you show up as a leader and as a business owner?
Yeah, so I think growing up, I've always felt like I was in a shadow or behind a shadow. So everyone knew me as like my brother's little sister. And whenever they refer to me, they're always referring to my brother and then me. They're like, "Oh, you and your brother." It's not just like me. Like
Mhm.
it's like you and your brother are so inspiring. Like it was never you're so inspiring. And so I felt like I was always in somebody's shadow. And then when I got married, I also was behind the shadow of my husband, right? He is like, I had to follow his lead. And so for the longest time, I felt like my identity was tied to like the men in my life. And I kept thinking to myself, like, why do I have to always hide behind somebody else? Like,
Mhm.
will my accomplishments ever like just be me, my own? And so now I feel very empowered to just keep sharing my voice and my story, because now I feel like I'm becoming someone of my own versus just like a shadow. But I think that also influences me, like as like a leader, to show other women that they have their own voice and they can show up as themselves too.
Mm. Oh my gosh. You're so inspiring, Catherine. Just you yourself. Just you yourself. Wow. I'm so glad that you're sharing that because I'm sure and even I've felt this way too. Like just being behind someone and I am stepping into this new role of, a soon to be wife and daughter-in-law and everything like that. And I am the oldest in my family, so I'm not used to being I don't want to say I'm not like always used to being in the shadows. Like, of course, there are moments where I have been, but like I am kind of that first point of contact in my family specifically. And so it's so encouraging to know that others have gotten over that right and through their own journey and all of that. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's very inspiring, and that's so helpful too to know that like I'm not alone. like
Yeah.
you know oh man. So Catherine, I want to talk a little bit about Thriving Dot, your business. For the listeners who might be new to it, can you share what Thriving Dot is about?
Yeah, so Thriving Dot is a marketing agency that helps small businesses grow online through SEO, Google advertising, or advertising in general, social media, content creation, and designing a website. But I want to say, like, beyond that, we are more than just that because I do host like monthly personal and professional growth workshops and events. And so this actually came about because I believe that you can't fully show up for your business if you don't show up for yourself. And so my goal is to support both sides, the strategy for growing the business, but also the person who needs to heal so that they can grow and be that successful leader to sustain the business. So that's really like my mission is to bridge the two, personal and business.
Oh my gosh, I love that so, so much. And that's like, it's such a unique concept, I think, because I know a lot of the workshops or networking opportunities that I see are very either healing based or professional based and not very much so combined between the two. So I love that. I love that so much. I have yet to gone to an event of yours, and it's like on my list. I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, Catherine, I can't this day. Like, but I will one day because I've heard amazing reviews. I'm in the Yobismo program right now, and I've heard from some of the ladies that I have classes with that they go to your events and they're like, oh, it's so amazing, it's so inspiring. Catherine is so inspiring, blah, blah, blah. So I love it. I love the whole concept, the idea. And I just love that you're bringing the community together to really like support each other, right? Because I feel like
Yeah,
that's something that's so needed continuously. So I love that.
thanks.
I feel like that question and your answer, we kind of just combined the three questions that I have for you. So I think I'm going to
Oh,
skip over this part.
okay.
No worries. I love it though. I love it because we're flowing with the conversation. We love it. Okay, I do want to ask you this question. With your business, with Thriving Dot, what gap did you see in the community that you saw and you were like, oh, like I want to fill this with Thriving Dot?
So going back to my own story with my brother, who he didn't go to school for marketing and he needed to generate sales. And so I think that that story alone is the reality that most small business owners like face, where they can't afford to hire five different marketers to do SEO, to do advertisements, to do social media. And so I want to fill in that gap where you get a full marketing strategy that connects every touch point of your customer's journey. And so when it comes to like businesses and I see them working with two different agencies, it always bugs me. I mean, even though I know those people are great, but it bugs me because we have a social media agency over here doing their own campaigns on social media, and then you have another agency doing stuff on the website, and then that doesn't even connect. So what they're seeing on social
Mm,
media is a different story on what they're seeing on their website. And so I
mm.
really want to be able to, hence the name Thriving Dot, connect all the dots.
Oh, oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Could you just share briefly the difference
Yeah.
between more of the social media side and then the marketing side? Like, how obviously listeners, if you're business owners or something like that, and curious about it, how do you differentiate the two, and are they the same? Does that
Are
make
you
sense?
saying like how social media is different than like email marketing or
Mm-hmm.
website?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will say that they all work hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so every channel, social media, your website, and email marketing, they all play a different part in your customer's journey. So, social media is about bringing awareness to your business. Your website is basically like your brochure, what
Mm-hmm.
people learn about who you are, what you do, your services, all that. Sometimes you can't like display all of that on your social media unless you scroll through like each piece of content. Oh, social media is really about like awareness, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can also use it as an engagement tool, so re-engaging the audience that you've built. And then email marketing is, I would say, like a nurturing tool, a way to connect with your most loyal customers. So at each stage in their journey, it's going to be different. So Google, you use it because people are looking for solutions, right? They're looking for answers to their problem. That's an awareness like stage. So you use Google for top, we call it top of the funnel. And then the middle of the funnel, once they become aware of you, where do they go? They come to your website, and that's where you get to convert them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like the middle of the funnel where you can convert to your customers. And then the bottom of the funnel is like keeping them loyal. So through loyalty memberships or emails, right? If they become a member, you send them emails to remind them of who you are and keeping them loyal.
I love that. Thank you for breaking that down. That's so it's like I love the funnel. That must be like a learning tool because it's it's easy for me to remember that now. So I love
Yeah.
it. Catherine, you mentioned earlier a little bit about your networking and community building opportunities that you do. Can you tell me what really inspired this for you? I'm curious to know, how the events have gone, and if you could share maybe like a favorite story or a moment from one of your events that has really stood out for you. I'd love to hear.
Yeah. So I created these networking events because these are things that I needed and I just couldn't find them anywhere.
Mm,
Where in my business journey, I think a lot of it was because I did a lot of healing work. I did a lot of like discovery, um, and like personal development with my own confidence. And so, and then also like the strategy piece, like I know there's lots of resources, but like they don't get into the tactical details of how they talk about like the high level, but how do you actually apply it? Like when you go and do it for your website, what do you do?
mhm,
Right?
mhm,
So I know that like there's two different types. Like I want to do personal and business because, like I said, your business won't be able to sustain if you're not thriving in your life too, if you don't feel like passionate about the things that you do. Um, but so I really tried to encompass like the personal and business side. One story I um, that I received from my networking events is just I remember an attendee. They told me that they felt out of place because when they entered, there it was a lot of young people, and they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm too old for this."
mm.
And then as the night went on, we did all of our activities. They actually told me that they enjoyed the event so much and they were so glad that they were able to connect with other women, and she just
Oh.
felt like she was like out of place, but then after that she felt like she was in the right place. So
Oh, I
yeah.
love that. And that's on you building the right like vibe and the right community. Catherine, that's amazing. No, to have someone be like, I don't know if this is for me. Like, because I've honestly, like, I've gone to events and I'm like, I feel that way and I leave feeling that way too. You know, it very rarely do I go to an event and my mind has changed. Like, you know, because and obviously that has to do a lot with like how you the opportunities for you to share about yourself too, you know, because I feel like a lot of the times you'll go to a networking opportunity and it's a bunch of people speaking to each other, and then there's like panel members or whatever, and then there's no opportunity for you to like really dive into like yourself or anything like that. Like you kind of just have to be brave and just be like, "Hi, my name is like so and so. Like,
Yeah.
what is your name?" You know, things like that. So, oh, I love that. That's
I
amazing.
know that is one of the things why my workshops or events are so different too, is because I always remember like going to a networking event and like feeling so afraid to go into, I see there's a group already talking and like
Yes.
squeezing myself in there.
Yes.
But my networking events are a lot different. I will divide everyone up into different groups. And so it forces them to talk
Mm,
to somebody new versus like the
yeah.
people that they always see. And then we rotate like throughout the night. You continue like we continue to rotate. So you get to work with one group at the at the beginning of the workshop, and then in the middle you get
Mm.
to do another activity, talk about other discussions, and so it like rotates. So you actually get to learn from other people.
Wow, that's amazing. That's such a good way to do a networking event because you are really networking. Like, you know, like you're
Yeah.
meeting new people. So, ah, that's amazing. Okay, now I'm really excited and I need to sign up for your next event. Like
Yes, you should
right now.
come.
Catherine, I want to step into the next segment of the episode here. I want to talk a little bit about leadership and kind of the lessons that you've learned throughout your entrepreneurship journey and all of that good stuff. You know, what has been some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned in your journey as a business owner?
I would say just always be a learner and invest in yourself and your personal development. Um, I would not be here if I didn't hire a coach. I will say, like, I swear, investing in a coach is totally worth it. I actually hired
Mm.
like three different coaches, but they
Mm.
all helped me in like very different ways. They all
Yeah.
had their own type of I would say personalities and ways of doing things, but that also helps me learn in different ways and perspectives. But I think those different types of perspective healed me in or helped me on my journey in different ways, whether it was like
Mm.
confidence, a lot of trauma in my past that also I guess I see in my day to day in my business, just like boundaries and like, whatnot. But I would say so the biggest thing would be just investing in yourself. And then I
Mhm.
also learned to ask for help because
Mm.
um, I think that's like one of the biggest things for me is I don't like to ask for help. I'm afraid of asking for help and I want to do everything by myself.
Yeah.
But allowing yourself to ask for help, that actually helped me grow faster, I will say, because then I'm able to focus on like the really strategic stuff that I need to get done, like doing more sales, you know?
Wow, thanks for sharing that. And that must be I feel like a lot of people can relate. You know, we never want to ask for help because we just want to do it all. We think we got it, but sometimes it's okay if we don't got it. And even if we do got it, there are other priorities, right? And I love
Yeah.
that you were able to share that because now you can focus on the things that are going to make you grow even more, right? And I know, you know, people are always like people if you when you find the right people to help you, it's seamless. You know, it doesn't even feel like you're stepping away. It feels like you're doing it all, right? And with the help of the people that make it seamless for you and all of those things. So I love thank you for sharing that. I'd love to know, Catherine, how do you balance the business side of Thriving Dot with the creative and community side? So, you know, you're hosting these amazing events, but you also have your business. Like, how are you balancing all of that?
Yeah. So that's funny because I was talking about this at my most recent event, how I felt so disconnected from my business.
Mm.
I was saying, like, for some reason, my business just feels so professional. Like it doesn't feel like me. And like that's where I was like, man, I feel like my personal life and my personal story is so disconnected from my business. But then somebody at the event was like, really? Because when I see your posts, or like I see your content, I'm like, oh, it's just Catherine. And so I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that my business is just me, like it's
Yeah.
part of me. And I just was seeing it as like two separate things when it's really just one thing. Um, and so I think now that I reflect back on what I was thinking at the time, I think it's more of just integrating your life and your business. So I would say prioritizing what you love and the things that matter to you. So for example, if my family is important to me, I will prioritize them. My business is important to me, I prioritize that. And so I don't think there's like a balance. It's just you prioritize what's important. And so, yeah.
Hmm. That's such a different way of thinking about that. Thank you for sharing that. That's so it's it's refreshing. It's a refreshing way, because some people are like, this is how I do this, and this is how I do this, and that is like it's black and white, right? But sometimes it's not. There's a lot of gray. You have to be adaptable, flexible, right? So thank you for sharing that. I would love to know if you could share some advice. What advice would you give to other Hmong women who want to step into entrepreneurship or even like leadership roles?
It's super simple. Just do it. No, I'm kidding. um like I said, it like took me 3 months just trying to figure out like a business name, okay? And I'm like, during those 3 months, I did nothing, you know? But when I finally launched my business, I just figured it out as I went,
Mm,
you know? I didn't have like the perfect plan. I didn't have everything mapped out. I just started doing it. I just started showing up every day.
mhm.
And so that's the advice that I would give. Just do it. Just start.
I love that. That's a reoccurring theme with business owners and entrepreneurs that I have on the podcast. So here's your daily reminder again, listeners, just do it. We love it. We love it. Well, Catherine, I want to know what's next for Thriving Dot. Are there any new projects or events that you're excited about that you want to share with the podcast?
Yeah. So, um, this has been like something that I've been envisioning since the beginning when I started Thriving Dad, but I've always wanted to be a speaker at Digital Summit, but I got rejected
Oh,
2 years in a row. So, it's
oh,
okay.
yeah.
But, you know, I think I use that as an opportunity to say I want to create my own digital marketing summit. So that's
Ooh.
my inspiration is to create my own branding and marketing summit for small business owners. Yeah, I feel like I haven't I haven't been on that stage yet, but who says you can't create your own, right?
Period.
So, I want to create like eventually a 3-day conference where you can come learn about branding, messaging, and marketing. And then, this is just an opportunity for others, especially small business owners, to learn about like what all of the big companies are learning. But I'm also starting a new series called She Means Business. And so this is
Mm.
like a lunch and learn power hour series where you will learn about building confidence, risk management, so taking risk in your
Mm.
business, and then leadership development, and then also like how to build your systems and workflows and build your team to help you achieve the vision and the mission that you want to create.
So exciting. Such exciting things coming your way, Catherine. Oh my gosh. I love that idea. Like if they, you know, what am I trying to say? I love that you're taking it into your own hands. You're like, fine, if you don't want me, then I'm gonna do it myself. Like, and Catherine, you will do it yourself. And I'm excited for what's to come for you and for your business and all of that good stuff. So that's so exciting. I will link your She Means Business. You are my first episode. So I will
Okay.
link your She Means Business in the description. So I'm just gonna tell the audience that. So friends, if you're looking for an opportunity to see Catherine and join her, what did you call it? Your
She
series,
means business.
your She Means Business events. Okay, I'm gonna reword that.
Well, it's a workshop, so.
Workshop. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, friends, if you're interested in joining Catherine's workshops called She Means Business, I will link it in the description below. Sign up because I think there's limited spots, right?
Yes, very
Yes.
limited.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be in the description box below if you guys are interested. Catherine, I'd love to ask, in the long run, what is your hope for the Hmong community when it comes to women in business?
So I hope that we can break free from our traditional expectations of being a Hmong daughter or a nya, or just being like confined into our gender roles. I want us Hmong women to know that our worth isn't defined by who we marry or the shadows that we live in and what the community has assigned us. I do hope that we can create a future where Hmong women can step more into their leadership and their own power without feeling guilty or um, feeling like they have to apologize to be someone um, that leads, and I hope that our daughters can also grow up to be amazing, women leaders and business owners in the future as well. And so, in order for them to see that, we also have to show them that.
Period. Yes, 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 yes. We love it. We love it. That's amazing. Oh, Catherine, thank you so, so much for joining the podcast today, having this conversation with me. It's been such an honor getting to know you and your journey through entrepreneurship, through leadership, and all of that good stuff. So, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I have these three core questions that I ask all of my guests. So, I'd love to ask you, first, where can listeners connect with you and learn more about you and Thriving Dot?
Yeah, so you can follow us. You can follow us at on social media at Thriving Dot, or visit our website Thriving Dot, and then .com.
Oh, I love that. So it's not two dots, okay? It's the word dot and then the dot.
Yes.
We love it. I will link all of Catherine's information, social media handles, website, all of that good stuff in the description box below as well. And Catherine, what does being a Hmong woman mean to you?
Yeah, being a one Hmong woman means having courage. Um, just courage to speak up, to fail, to get back up again, and yeah, just to become who we want to be.
Beautiful. And one last question for you. Could you share a favorite quote or mantra or a piece of wisdom that inspires you?
Yes. So I received a very powerful message from Kajoa. Shout out to Kajoa as Soya Yoga. But
Woo.
it has like stuck with me since the very beginning of my business journey. And the message is, Catherine, you are not afraid of the dark. You are afraid of your own light. And so
Mm.
this is a reminder that the biggest thing holding you back is you. And so, when I reflect back, she's right. There's going to be many challenges and obstacles that come my way, but don't dim your own light.
Mm. Wow, that's so good. Oh my gosh, I literally just got chills and I'm wearing a long sleeve. That's amazing. Oh gosh. Well, Catherine, thank you again for joining me on the podcast and sharing your journey, really your dedication to creating a space where Hmong women and entrepreneurships can connect and thrive and really support each other is super inspiring to me. And to our listeners, I hope that this conversation reminds you of the importance of community, collaboration, and courage as you pursue your own path. In the words of Catherine and like 50% of the podcast members that have joined me, just do it, okay, y'all?
Yes.
Remember that we thrive when we build things together, and be sure to check out Catherine's work with Thriving Dot and learn how you can be a part of the incredible network she's building. I will link her She Means Business workshop again down below. And yeah, until next time, friends, thank you so much for tuning in with me and Catherine, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.